Well, hello, my friends. Happy Sunday. It's Shawn Petite. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Look at this gorgeous gal. Here are the supplies that we'll be using today. Super simple supplies. So these papers, so 3 of these papers, the map, the background paper that I'm putting down right now, that kind of collaged scrap paper, and then the Dreamer text, which you see here. Are all going to be free to you in the resource library this week. So grab your papers. So I'm starting this project on an 8x10 MDF board, and I'm using Liquitex matte medium to put down my papers. I know I'm going to be doing my girl, and so I'm putting down some papers in that corner where I'm going to be putting her face that will show up, that will give some of the story. So I've got a map and I've got a postage stamp, and that is her dreamer spirit. That is the process that I'm thinking of as I'm putting this down. And then the flowers I was hoping to show up maybe in her hair or down in her chest area, and some of it does, but that's kind of my plan as I was putting my papers down. So I've got my straight ahead face stencil, and all the stencils will be on sale this week as well. But I'm just getting a sketch of it. I'm just kind of sketching out where it's going to be so that I can kind of get an idea, and then I can create the background around her face, because I don't want any color in her face. I want to create the color myself, and I want those papers to show through to tell her story, to tell my story. And so I'm just using a charcoal pencil and getting that sketch down. And now I'm using just a few colors, Lucas acrylic paints. This is magenta. And I'm doing some reverse stenciling. That's my Mediterranean Minis stencil. I'm making sure I've got her neckline down so I don't go over it with the paint. I'm just picking that paint back up with my towel. And this reverse stenciling is a great way to get pattern and still allow the papers to show through underneath. And so I've mixed a little bit of gesso and that magenta. And my stencil has so much paint on it that I'm having a hard time picking up some of the pattern. I need to really wash my stencils good. I'm so terrible. And so I have a flesh color, and I added a little bit of magenta to that, and I think a tiny bit of yellow ochre. So I used magenta, flesh, yellow ochre, and then gesso. And that's the colors that I chose for my background. I wanted it to be different, and I wanted it to stand out. I wanted contrast. So I was trying to make her face a little bit darker, and I knew that the dream catchers were going to be black. So I really wanted something that would kind of stand out against that. All of the supplies that I'm using will be listed on the blog, and the link to the blog will be down below in the YouTube description box. And so I'm going to start pushing some of that pattern back a little bit. I'm using a dry brush with gesso on it. And then I'm just kind of picking it back up because I've wanted it really soft. This came out much more vibrant than I wanted. So I used a paper towel to kind of push that back a little bit. And then I'm just using that paper towel to kind of mask off her face area, because I wanted this to be right up to her face, but not on it. And then I'm going to just kind of mute everything down and kind of blend it all together. I'm using cobblestone. This is one of my favorite colors that I got from Deco Art. It's an Americana craft paint and I love it. It's a really subtle gray, very pretty. Then I added a little bit of flesh color in there. And really just kind of softening that background and kind of muting everything down. So now I'm going to begin to work on her face, and it's always a process creating a face because it always is slightly different every single time. And for this gal, I wanted to work on my darker skin tones, working on my faces and having more diverse colors and different things like that. And so it's getting the right skin tone is often really hard for a darker complexion. So when I started that, I had not stenciled in my full face yet. So I decided, I was like, oh, I better do that. And so now I'm just going to do the dance back and forth of adding my color in. And I'm using raw umber, Nova Color raw umber, and some gray, a little bit of gray, that cobblestone gray mixed in there. And then I always add in unpredictable colors like turquoise and purples and whatever color maybe some magenta, because I like that unpredictability because my faces are never really truly realistic. And so I like to add in the different colors to represent highlights and shadow and that kind of thing. And I will continue to go back and forth between lights and darks to get the coloring and the highlight and low lights right. And I'm using my paints watered down. And I like that effect because I like how it pools. And sometimes it's very unpredictable. And so now I'm using my Stabilo All pencil, which I love using on my faces. Again, because I can get kind of a watercolor effect and yet it's permanent. The Stabilo All pencil isn't completely permanent, but it dries fairly well, and then I will use a fixative to seal everything because I'll be using a ton of charcoal pencil and a ton of Stabilo. But I love when I'm using my Stabilo because you water it down with your brush and you get just these really unexpected things that happen. So like with her eyes right now, they're very watery, and I'll go back and forth adding and taking away from the pooling that is happening with the Stabilo pencil. And I go back and forth between my charcoal pencil and my Stabilo pencil The charcoal pencil is going to give me a more stable line and more definition, and then I can add to the shadowing and different things like that with my stabilo or more paint. So now I'm adding my Dreamcatcher stencil, and I wanted 3 of them on there. And I love how it turned out. As soon as I pulled it up, I was like, yes. And so I'm going to start adding some detail with my charcoal pencil. And once I started taking a look at her, I knew that I needed those dream catchers to be separated more from the background. And so I decided to highlight the middles of the dream catchers and then go back over it with the stenciling, match it up, and recreate that again. And what a difference it made. Contrast is key to everything. And so as I begin to shade around her face, I will add some additional shading all the way around those dream catchers. It took me a while. They needed to be stronger and bolder. And so as I added some shading to her face and was trying to figure out what the dream catchers needed, they needed more shading all the way around to really kind of make them bold. So I decided to add some color to the dream catchers again to bring them out, make them more of a focal point, and add some of that turquoise to the dream catcher so that it integrates in with the piece. And so here I'm trying to highlight and just really bring out all of the dream catcher parts. And you can see now how I've begun to really shade around the edges. And again, contrast. Once I get that shading in there and really bring those out, they really come to life. And really kind of become part of her. So I'm going to put my words down, and again, this sheet is available to you for free. I will shade the edges, and that is it, my friends. Super simple, super easy. All the stencils are on sale this week. I hope you enjoyed today's project, and if you did, subscribe and like and all those wonderful things. Hope you get a chance to maybe try this out and stick around for the conversation at the end. It's a good one about being a dreamer and not letting someone say that your dreams aren't worthy. So I hope you stick around for that conversation, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Well, hello, my loves, and happy Sunday. Look at this beautiful, beautiful girl. Oh, love it. I'm working so hard on trying to get different skin tones for my girls to kind of show the different ethnicities and that kind of thing. It's harder than it looks, but I love her. Love, love, love her. Oh my gosh. So I have two collage sheets that will be free to you. This is the Dreamer sheet. It's got a bunch of different quotes about pursuing your dreams, courage to dream, different quotes like that. And then there's also going to be the map, the 2 maps sheet in the collage pack this week. And remember to get your downloads when you can, because they don't stay in there forever. They're constantly changing out. So you might go back and they won't be there any longer. So make sure to get those. Then the stencils that I used today, the face, the dream catcher, the Mediterranean minis, and the Moroccan tiles that I used in the background will be on sale this week. And I think that's it. Very simple. This was a very straightforward, simple project. Different colors for me for the background, but I love it. Love it. I wanted that contrast between the lights and the darks, and I just love how this turned out. Oh, so good. Okay, so this says, they say she was a dreamer. And so often we have naysayers in our lives, and I was thinking about this week as we had gone through this next birthday week and how the business has grown and done things. And I remember having people say to me, "You'll never do it. You'll never make it. How can anyone make a living selling art?" Or, all the things. And they kind of put their thumb on my dreams. And I think we've all had a person like that in our lives. And maybe you have one in your life right now. And I want to encourage you to have that voice be quieted. Don't allow that voice, that person, that whatever it might be, to squash your dreams. We all are dreamers at some point. Even as kids, I can remember as a kid thinking about what I'm doing right now. I dreamt of even as a kid. And I can remember my mom saying, "You're such a dreamer." And that's okay. They say she was a dreamer. And dreams are where we start. And we have to quiet all those voices that say we can't do it. And then after we start our dreaming, then we take action. But you have to not let anyone take those dreams away from you. And then once you've cleared the path, and you'll have others that continue to come to you as you're pursuing your dreams, that will say, that'll never happen, you can't do that, you know. And you have to keep going. Keep moving forward. Maybe it's your dream to have a business. Maybe it's your dream to have a relationship with someone. Maybe it's your dream to be physically fit. Maybe it's your dream to, have a floral business. I don't know what your dream is. Maybe it's your dream to be an executive in your company. Whatever that dream is, there's always going to be someone that says you can't do it. Always. And that just means you're doing the right thing. And that just means you need to move forward harder, better, faster, and just clear the path of those people that say you can't do it, and keep moving forward, even if it's small little steps. And I want to say this too, it's wonderful to have that dream, that little tiny seed that we protect and we hold and we nurture. But at some point, if we don't allow it to grow and we don't take action, it just stays this little tiny seed, this little thing that we think about. You have to take action. And sometimes part of that action is clearing the people out that say that you can't do it. And then you continue to move forward, take steps every single day towards that dream. And then, you know what happens? It becomes a goal. And then it becomes a reality. So let them say that you're a dreamer. Let them say it. You know your dreams. You know your strength. You know your worth. You know where you want to go. And if you don't, tell yourself every single day. Because it doesn't just happen. There's action. When we have this wonderful dream and we want to make it happen, there's action involved. All right, my loves, that is it for today. Super simple, easy project with a very, very straightforward message. Go for your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. May it be restful, full of love, and full of dreams. And may you always, always know that you are loved.